Good morning, guys. So, welcome back uh, to the offline session of C programming for problem solving. So, today we're going to see the further topics related to the functions. As we have discussed in the last class, we have seen uh, what does basic function means and how it differs from a program, and we also have seen how to write a program using functions, and how these functions resolve so many issues which we have in a basic programming structure. And also, at last, we winded the class by seeing different types of functions, where we have two types: built-in functions and user-defined functions. So today we are going to extend the topic. So today what we are going to see in functions is, when we write a function, what are the essential things we should do to write a program using functions. So that means basically how a function can be written. So coming to this topic, a functions include certain things. For example, when we want to write a simple program using functions, there are few essential components. So that is what we call it as elements of functions. So a function's elements are, we should have a function declaration. We'll see what is function declaration later on. So the essential, the first, the prior thing, or the most important thing before we write a function in a program is that we should declare a function. That is called as function declaration, or we call it with other name called as function prototype. And then the second element what we require in a function program is, we should have a function definition. And the third and foremost thing is, we should have a function call. So these are the three elements which make a function works. That is function declaration, function definition, and function call. So let us see one by one, what do we exactly mean by these components. So first, what is function declaration? So you know that in programming, we cannot use certain components as and when we wish. So if you want to use anything in the program, it must be declared, so that then only the compiler will know what it is meant for. For example, if you want to store a number, then we have on a variables. Okay, and if the number has to be used in the program, we require a memory or a storage. That is what is a variable. Variable is nothing but a memory location, and we give a name to that memory location. That is what is a variable. So similarly, like how a variable is declared, similarly whatever you use in the program has to be declared. So a variable is an identifier. Similarly, a function, if you need to use a user defined function, it is defined, since it is defined by the user, so whatever user defines has to be declared before it is used. So similarly, a function has to be declared. So that is what the uh, definition says. A function must be declared before using them in the program, like how we use a variable in C. That means every function has to be declared before it has been used. So like in programming, basically the foremost thing is that whatever we do, we need to know the syntax. So there is a rule set to declare the function. So this is what the rule set says. It says, to declare a function, the first thing what you need to mention is return type. So if you go back to the previous chapters, when I was discussing unconditional statements, we discussed about break, we discussed about exit, we discussed about go to, we discussed about continue, and we left one topic, that was return. Okay, and I said that I'll be explaining you about return when we will be doing the concepts of functions. So basically unconditional statements like break, continue, uh, or exit or go to, all these things jump from one location to another location in the program without any conditions. That is why we call them as unconditional statement. So this is the same return what we were speaking there. Okay, so return also does the same thing, but return comes in the picture of functions. So return type, the first thing what you need to mention is return type. So this is nothing but your basic data types like integer, character, float, double, okay, or void. So these are the return types. So basically, if you mention a return type, that will be one among these data types. We will see when to write which data type or a return type later on. So the first thing what you need to write while function declaration is its return type. And next, like how we give a name to a variable, we should give a name to a function. So like how the rules we follow during variable names, the same way the function names should also follow the rules of identifiers that we already know, because rules of identifiers says that it begins with an alphabet, it can have only alphabet and numbers in it, and it can have only one special symbol, that is underscore, and it need not have, it should not have a space. So all these rule set also should be followed by your function name. So the first thing what you write is return type. The second thing is function name. And next, the inside the function name, you will be specifying this function is going to act on what are the arguments, or what parameters does this function takes to perform the task. So that will be the parameter list. Okay. So this is what is basically a function declaration. Okay, so function declaration says that it should have a return type, it should have a function name, and it should have an argument or parameter list. Okay, so let me shift my screen to a compiler, and where we will be writing a program and explaining each and every function elements. Okay, so let us see a program. So let us just see this program where we will write a simple program to print our name. Okay, so let me write. So as usual, you should have an header file, that is hash include stdio.h, and let me mention the uh, main function. So print our name. So this program basically gives you, you all know that what is the output of this program. This basically gives your name, it prints. So when I run this program, okay, I want to build this project, one second. So when I run this particular program, first I have to build the project. So it says that 0 errors and 2 warning. Okay, and now since it's not having any errors, I can just basically one second. Run. So now you can see that it's printing my name is Pradeep. So this is what is the output. So you can see my name is Pradeep has been printed. So this is what is the output of this particular program. So, but what I said is we are not going to do this in this way. What we are going to do is we are going to call a function and print the name. So first thing is I'm going to call the function. Okay. So the function name, what I'm going to declare is display name. Okay. So this is the one which is going to display the name. So what I'm going to do is printf, enter the name. Okay, and I'm going to declare an array to store the name. So char name of 20, I declared an array which can save the name in it. And now when I ask the user to enter the name whatever I enter should be saved in the variable name. So I can use scanf percentage s comma name. So as we discussed, if we use scanf, the problem is that we cannot have a space in a name. So to include the space, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, instead of scanf, I'm going to use getters. Okay, and getters of name. Now I can have a space in a name. So with what I say, I have entered the name. Okay, and then I'm saying that get string and save that string in a variable called as name. So name array can store a name up to 20 characters now. And now I can just write this. I can just write like this: printf my name is percentage s comma name. So now if you can see that if I build the project, let me see whether it throws an error. It doesn't have any errors. It has 0 errors and some 2 warnings. You need not worry about the warnings. Okay, and then I just execute this program. So you can see that it asks enter the name. So I write Pradeep, and you can see that again the program's output say that my name is Pradeep. But the thing is, we haven't used yet the function. Okay, we haven't used any user defined function here. Now you know that what is there in name. In your name variable you have your name. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to start using the function. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write a function with a function name as a display name. And what are you supposed to display? You are supposed to display name. So I'm going to write name in it. Okay, so now carefully observe here. This has to display the name. Okay, so let us don't not worry about displaying the name uh, in this particular program. So we are about to display the name. So where did I store the name? I have stored the name in an array, because name can be stored in an array. It cannot be stored in a normal variable. Now as soon as the compiler sees this particular function, the first thing the compiler assumes is that when it sees the function, it checks that is it a built-in function. As you all know that built-in functions resides in some header files, since it's a system defined. But here display name is not a built-in function, and it doesn't resides in any uh, header files. Then it looks for whether it is an user defined function. If it has to be a user defined function, then we have to declare the user defined function. Have we declared? Because we can't use directly this line uh, since it has not been declared. Now we need to declare the function. So how do we declare? As we have seen, the syntax declaration says that return type has to be written first. So the meaning of this, we will see it later. Let us just write. So what he says that return types can be anything like int, float, char, void. So let us just don't worry much about it. Let us just go back to the program and declare it with one type. I'll speak about return type later part of this particular module, so you can clearly understand what return type means. So now our first foremost job is to declare the function. So let us just declare a function. Okay, so let me see. So as you all know that declaration should be before you encounter the function. So here I have encountered the function. The compiler encounters the function, so it should be declared before that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the type. So as the syntax says that your return type can be anything. Now I'm specifying void. I'll come back and explain why we have specified it as void. Okay. And next, after void, I have to specify what is the thing next, what I have to specify according to the syntax. According to the syntax, the next thing what I need to specify after return type is function name. Okay. So as we have seen, we have the function name as display name. We should declare the same. name. So keep in your mind, it is case sensitive. You can't have small letter display name here and capital letter display name here. Okay, so it's case sensitive, so it follows the same rules of identifiers. The next thing what you need to do for declaration is, so declaration says that, so look at this. Declaration says that the next what you need to do is, what are the arguments does this function takes and perform the task. So the main aim of this function is to display the name. So what arguments are you going to take and act on? Which arguments is the one what you need to specify. So when I come to this program, I know that this program was written to display the name. So where is your name actually? It is there in the variable. Which variable? Array variable name. So what are you passing to the function? An array. So an array cannot be stored in some other variable. It can be stored in some other array variable only. Okay. So if you pass the parameter as a name, I can't have the argument as int a. I cannot have this, because what are you passing here? You are passing an name. What is the type of name? It is a character. And what is it? It is a variable or an array? It is an array variable of type char. So keep in your mind, then this can be declared only using array name, okay, not any other thing. So I have to write char, okay, and I should give a name. So let me write an array, my name of 20. So now I have declared it. So that means you have a return type, you have a function name, and you have a parameter list. How many parameters are there? There is only one parameter, that is my name. And what is it? It is an array. And what is its type? It is a character. Okay. You are passing a name array. So you read the name, you pass that to a function display name. As soon as the compiler sees it, it goes back and check whether it is declared. Yes. Void is return type. Display name is the function name. Yes. What is its parameter? It has a single parameter. Yes, of course. Here also you have declared it with single parameter. Name is of type char. Yes, of course. This parameter is also of type char. And what is its nature? It is an array. Yes, of course, it's an array. So this is what is function declaration. So if you go back, when I was explaining in the last class about function, I clearly specified while you do function declaration. So this is what is function declaration. So let me write it as a comment so you can understand. This is a first element, that is function declaration. So when you write the function declaration in the parameter list, it's optional to give the name, but it is mandatory to give the type. Okay, so if I write this, so I am specifying only type. This is not valid. Why this is not valid? Because it is valid if it would have been a normal variable. If I would have written only a normal variable, then it would have been valid. But here what it is an array. So what you need to do is, along with this, you should specify a subscript square bracket which tells that it is a type is an char and its nature is it's an array. Okay, you are not specifying name. So keep a habit, either you can write name of 20, so like this, my name of 20, or you can just specify the nature, that is it is char and it's an array. So when you write this particular line, it is understood that now function has been declared. It has been declared. Okay, so this is what is function declaration. So that's what the user says about it. Okay, so that says that the syntax return type is done, function name, argument or parameter list. So we have only one argument. So what does return type means? It specifies return type of function, which means the type of data that a function return after performing all its action. Right now you need not worry about this much. So keep one thing in mind, if a function does not return anything, then only we are going to put it as void. Right now what data type we have mentioned is void. What is the meaning of this? A function does not return anything. Okay, so we will see what is written and all in the next concept when we'll be learning parameters pass types of function based on parameters. Okay, and return type. So we'll see that later on. Keep blindly in your mind that right now we have declared it void. We don't know anything about other than void right now. Okay, next, after return type, what are you supposed to write? Function name. What is the meaning of that? Function name, it is a name of the function, and it should be a meaningful name. Don't give some whatever you feel. Whenever a person or somebody else who sees the name of the function, he should understand what exactly this is going to perform. So give, like how we have given here as display name, like a variable name, even function name should also follow the rules of identifiers, as I said about the rules. And the next thing what you need to specify after the function name is argument or parameter list. So when you come to this, argument list specifies list of arguments. So a function can perform task on one parameter or two arguments or three parameters or four parameters or 100 parameters. So whatever it is, you need to specify how many parameters does this function is going to take and perform the task. So that is what is argument list, and each argument should be separated by commas. It's mandatory. So that is how you can see the separation of argument, and it may include, look at this, this is very, it may include both data type, like in this example I have declared a function called as add. What is its return type? Void. So what he says that it may include in the parameter list data type, yes, it is a data type, and also argument name or variable name. So we have declared variable name type, we have declared variable name b type. This is also entertained, or you can declare a function only using their data types. So look at this same declaration, this is also valid. So you can see in red color we have written void add data type variable name, data type variable name, whereas here we have declared only the data type. So the preferred thing is this. So even though both works, the most of the programmers or most of the programming convention says that you prefer the second one than the rather the first one. So keep in your mind, it's left to you. Whichever way you practice, you can declare the function with a variable name or without a variable name. So this is what is function declaration. So I hope so you have understood how to declare a function. I will be speaking about return type in the next module, so that you'll clear next concepts. So there you'll be understanding what exactly is a return type. Okay. Next, after function declaration, the second element is function definition. So let us see what does a function definition means. So before you see function definition, let us go back and see what is function call. Okay. So what is function call? So when you come to this particular program, what we have written to display the name. So here you can see this is what is function call. That means you have called a function to perform certain task. Okay, who is calling the function? The function is been called by main. Why we call it as main as called the function? Because display menu is inside the main block. So who is calling the function display name? Main is calling the function display name. So if you clearly see, when we are discussing about program and function, we said function cannot execute by itself. So program can execute by itself because program knows that it should execute the main, so it will execute the main. But function should be inside main, so if it has to get executed. So that means a function has to be called if it has to perform the task. Okay, so what is the difference between a function call and function declaration is that function call is done to perform the task, whereas function declaration is done to make sure that function has been declared before it has been used. Okay, so that is what is function call. So let us go back and see what exactly a function call means. So if you can see, if a function has to perform its task, it must be called somewhere in the program. That means it must be invoked somewhere in the program. Sometimes it might be called inside the main function, or it can be called in some other functions. Okay. At last, the foremost thing is that it should be called somewhere. So function call invokes the function. So what is the syntax? So the syntax says that now here in function call, you are not least bothered about its type. Okay, return type. So what we are bothered is the function name and then the parameter list. That's all. Okay, so you can see that the function name and the parameters what we are going to pass to that function. So if you see in the current program what we are trying to do, this is what is a function name. Display name is a function name and name is the parameter. So this is how you call a function. So as you all know, as soon as it sees the function call, where does it goes? It goes to function definition. So in this particular program right now, we have not defined the function. What is the definition of function definition? The function definition means the set of tasks that that function has to perform. So if you can go back to this function definition, so let me define that function. So character void display name, then I write char my name of 20. Okay, now I'm going to define my function. Now see, so function, as soon as it calls, it sees that function has been declared. If it is declared, then it goes to function definition. So this is what is function definition. So this is your function call. Okay, and this is your function definition. Now as soon as it sees if the function is declared, then it will come here. So what are you passing in a function call? You're passing name. As I said, whatever variable you declare inside the function call, here the variable what you have declared inside or what you're passing inside the function call is name, and this variable is called as function call. And let me clearly tell that variable or parameter inside function call is called as what parameter? Actual parameter. Okay, and this is what is function definition. And let us just write, this is function definition, and parameter inside function definition is called as formal parameter. So let me just copy this. So it's formal parameter. So here in the function call, which is the parameter? Name. So what is this name? Name is an actual parameter. So inside the function definition, what is the parameter? My name. What is my name? My name is a formal parameter. Now what happens is, as soon as you call display name of name, so you know that what are you going to save it in name. So whatever you give during the execution, that will be saved in name and passed to function call. And now the name carries your name, which is your actual parameter, and pass that value to, or copy that value to another variable called as my name. Okay, so actual parameter value is copied to formal parameter. Okay, so now the name has been copied to my name. Okay, so where is your name right now? It is there in my name. So now I can write what the function has to perform. The function has to print the name. So it should say my name is percentage yes. Where is your name right now? It's not in this particular variable. It is there in your formal parameter of my name, because name is not known to display name function. It is not local to display name. Name is local to main function, but you're passing that name and saving it in my name. So display name, no, your name is now in my name. So you can just write my name. Okay. So let us just run this particular program. Just first compile it and see whether you have any zero errors and two warnings. That means you are about to run this particular program. Now let me run this program. Build, run. So first it asks user to enter the name. Yes, it's asking user to enter the name. So let me write Pradeep Kumar. Okay. So now where is this stored? This Pradeep. So it asks the user to enter the name. Now where is this stored? It is stored in this particular name, and this is passed to which function? Display name. And now it comes, the Pradeep Kumar is stored in name, and now it comes to my name because you have called that function with that name, so it's stored in my name, so you're printing that my name. So the function, this is function call. Function call, as soon as you the compiler sees, it looks that whether the function has been declared. Yes, if it is declared, it shifts from this position to the function definition to perform the task. Now the function definition has been performed. It prints just blindly what is there in my name. So let us see the output. So you can see that it's printing my name is Pradeep Kumar. So this is what is the program. So here with this program as an example, we have seen how to declare a function, how to call a function, and how to define a function. What does function definition mean? Function definition means what task a function has to be performed has to be defined. So now carefully observe the syntax. So the syntax of function declaration and function definition, it's one and the same. So you have a return type in function declaration, you have a return type in function definition. You have a function name, you have a function name in function definition also. You have a parameter list, yes, you have a parameter list. But the only the thing is here also I could have written my name of 20, but it is not preferable. So that's why we have removed it. It won't give you an error. So now you can see that even function definition also have a parameter, but the only difference is function declaration ends with semicolon. So you can see that as soon as you declare, but whereas your function definition, it's not ending with semicolon. It's not ending with semicolon. You have a semicolon here? No. You have a body of the function. Okay. So this is what is function definition. This is how you write the function. So three elements. What are those? Function declaration, function call, and function definition. So let us just go back to the concept and see what is telling about function call. As you have already seen, when the compiler encounters a function call in program, the control is transferred to function definition and executes the function line by line and return back to the same position where it was called. So keep in your mind, as soon as I just have written this particular program, so what happens is when it says getters of name and display name of name, it will come here, it will perform this printf statement and it will end. And after ending, that's not the end of the program. This has been performed. So now the control after performing the function will go back to the position where it has been called. So here it has been called. After this, what you have is a flower base. This is the end of the main. So the function has to terminate inside the main only. That means after function definition task is performed, it goes back where it has been called and come out of the program then. So that is what the author is going to tell here is that when the compiler encounters the function call, it performs the task and come back to the same position where it has been called. Okay, so that is what is function call. And next, the definition means it is nothing but defining a set of statement what the function has to perform. The syntax as usual, return type should be there, function name should be there, argument list or parameter list should be there, and then followed by the body of the function. So body of the function contains some set of statement what does that function has to perform. Okay, and keep in your mind this never ends with semicolon since it's a function definition. Okay, whereas function declaration also has same syntax but it ends with a semicolon, and function declaration doesn't have a body whereas function definition contains the body of the function. Okay, so this is what is a example of function definition. So you have return type, you have function name, you have parameter list, okay, and then you have the body of the function. So this is what a basic or any kind of user defined function should have, three elements in it. declaration, that is function declaration, function call, and function definition. I hope so you have understood these concepts. So we will see in the next concept further and extend what are the return type means and how this return types and parameter list varies. So that is what we are going to see in the next class. Thank you.